Well, this looks like it's gonna be a short clip. Still kind of hoping it's gonna be eventful, though. After all, we managed to kill a boss and gain a major upgrade in the previous clip. Let's see if momentum is on our side. Now that I think about it, we didn't have to worry about entering a gas chamber in order to grab anything important like I was worried we would. I guess I'm just too pessimistic after some of the crap we've already gone through. Well, I've certainly got the distinct feeling that we're gonna be getting the grapple beam sometime soon. Hell, maybe even in this clip. Again, it doesn't feel consistent when we get the ammo for the two beams, even when I'm doing the specific thing that's supposed to let us get the other gun's ammo. It doesn't help that one of the light beam items just disappeared through a wall. There was no way I could have stopped that from happening. So there's poisonous weeds in the toxic alternate universe version of this planet. Because of course this planet somehow isn't dangerous enough, especially with all the healing fields spread all around it. Such questionable design. Anyway, anyone up for a boss fight? Okay, I wasn't expecting to get the grapple beam so soon, after getting the, gravity boost. Excuse me for not feeling all that worried about this boss, especially since we went through the absolute bullshit that was the speed boost guardian just to get here. Well, that's certainly interesting to look at. Not too sure what it's doing to the big guy, but it's apparently bothering him somehow. Now to figure out how to bring his health bar down. So apparently while he's stuck in that grapple, we're supposed to get to his tail and start shooting, as if he was one of the more common variants of this kind of creature. That should have been my first thought. We've had enough practice against foes with this body type around here. Well, that certainly wasn't a lot of damage. I'm sure this fight is going to take up most of the clip. Especially since I don't seem to have it in my head the exact angle to shoot this guy from to cause damage. I should be significantly more worried fighting this boss. Instead, I'm just entirely annoyed instead of interested in what's going on here. In fact, excuse me as I start fast-forwarding through this fight and turn an already short clip into something even shorter. I just don't feel I can say anything about this damage sponge that hasn't been said for its more common brethren. Part of me wants to feel guilty for that, since generally speaking, I tend to enjoy the boss fights in the Metroid series. But clearly, boss fights are not a strength in Metroid Prime 2. Granted, I felt many of the fights in Metroid Prime 1 were rather easy to get through, aside from the rock golem thing, Ridley, and the final boss in its multiple forms. Still, this game is being outperformed in many ways and in many categories by its predecessor, and the next game that we'll get to in this series. In fact, I'm having a hard time thinking of what this game's strengths are. Oh god, I just had a horrific thought. What if when I finally managed to get Metroid Other M's rather bullshit controls to work on my emulator, I end up feeling that game is overall better than Metroid Prime 2? Perhaps overly harsh, but it's still a concern I feel needs raising here, because this far in, the game feels more like an obligation than anything I'm actually enjoying, and I'm pretty sure that is pretty self-inflicted. I mean, sure, at its core, it's got many of the factors that drew me into the first Metroid Prime. They haven't absolutely ruined the experience or something to the extreme. But unfortunately, Dark Aether just didn't land the way they wanted it to. Giving us two beams that have ammo limits makes me less likely to use them in battle, and less I feel absolutely forced to. The power beam feels nerfed for the sheer sake of making the light dark beams more tempting to use in battle, which helps drag these fights on longer than they should. Bloody hell. Ugh. I should stop bitching for now and just focus on the fact that the boss has moved on to a different phase now that it's a quarter to dead. Sure, I probably am not going to be fighting any differently, but still, it's worth slowing things down. Eesh. Definitely gonna be more of a grind, especially since he has no way to prevent us from just healing in either of the two fields here. It's just strange how this game deals with difficulty. For so many damn fights in this game, the environment is the biggest factor, not our skill or the enemy's abilities. Hell, the reason that the two most mind-numbingly frustrating boss fights in this game are frustrating is partly because the environment burns away at our health at a slow rate, effectively giving us a timer to finish off the boss in question. And while the bosses from before we ever went through the first portal were plenty scary and gave me some good hope that this game would really have plenty of damn good boss fights compared to the first Metroid Prime, the bosses after that point, I just cannot say one way or the other if the bosses really are at their core better than the ones from the first Metroid Prime overall, because the toxic air and the healing fields are used far too extensively when we are dealing with these especially strong foes. Hell, this boss feels incredibly similar in some ways to the ramming fish we dealt with when we got the gravity boost, but it feels noticeably less scary simply because we're able to use the healing fields and literally come out of this rather long, grinding battle in better shape than we came in before the bosses even dropped any items. I very much wish I could give a damn about the fight we just won here, but it was just so one-sided in our favor that it wasn't even worth remembering, and I am most certainly not using any cheats against this boss to make it feel easy. There just doesn't feel like there's a middle ground in this game. Either things are very much in our favor and there's no need to worry at all, or the odds are so utterly stacked against us that it's downright obscene. And the only way to tell one way or the other is to be right in the middle of the fight, or just remember the fight from a previous playthrough. Yeah. Anyway, that's another major upgrade out of the way. It's not going to literally open doors for us, but at the very least it's going to give us an easier time navigating across its world. Now, if only the level design in this game made that feel like that actually meant something. Yeah, still works the same as it did in the previous Metroid Prime. Simple, easy to use, nothing to really adjust to. Okay, I have absolutely no clue why that dragged us in that particular direction. It's not a major issue, but still kind of annoying. But then maybe I'm just more easily annoyed in this game, since a number of things about it have been getting on my nerves. I probably should have started fast-forwarding again while still in this hallway, but then I'll speed things up again soon enough. I'm pretty sure this is going to end up being one of, if not the shortest clips in this LP. But the next bit of raw footage is a solid amount of time, and I'd rather not have to do any splitting up of footage in awkward spots when I can help it, so, Not even sure what I was looking for when I destroyed those things. After all, we get our best healing from the fields, not the various items. wish that the dark beam was good in actual combat instead of just being something for the sake of solving puzzles and occasionally regaining light energy. Yeah, can't see anything we can do from here, at least not until we find whatever bullshit will let us use the light and dark beams at the same time. Not that I feel that the light and dark beams are worth much anyway. I know, technically the light beam let us speed through the boost boss fast enough to get the victory and deals with the ing pretty well. Still, there's no point in comparing the beams we get in this game to the ones we get in the other two Metroid Prime games that are out at this point. Though, maybe I'm possibly making an assumption too early about how Metroid Prime 4 is gonna be. For all I know, they might have decided to take in some of the wrong lessons from Metroid Prime 2, and I'll end up groaning in frustration when I finally get to it, as they copy things like the beam ammo crap.